Common Law Embassy and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy Immunity C-Pass Identity Cards, Detailed Description, Function and Purpose, a booklet created by Monica Eastick for both the Common Law Embassy and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy. This is the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy and the Common Law Embassy's newest card version 5.1. 5.1 is written on the back of the card, and that clearly identifies it from the other versions. You can view these cards on either website. The Common Law Embassy and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy Diplomatic Immunity C-Pass Identity Cards, Detailed Description and Function. The card bearer chooses the writing at the top of the card. From these options, ancestral lineage of the card bearer is a common theme. The geographical area of the card bearer is also a common theme. Occupation of the card bearer, i.e. his designated role within society, is a common theme. And any other significant preference of the card bearer is in fact chosen as the banner at the top of the card. CPSSG, SPSG is the correct sentence structure, correct sentence passe, sentence grammar. This is the tool used to disambiguate the words on the card so that they could not be used in a confusing manner. Basically, the words on the CPass are not in the language of legalese, they are plain English, and the CSS, CSPG, SG implies that in the contract that the card is. The card is a contract, and the contract is when something becomes smaller. We've placed a lot of valuable information on our CPass cards so that our diplomats no longer have to carry all of their many documents with them. And the card is in a convenient size and complies with aviation regulations and also the regulations for passports. Acts that are placed upon the cards, both Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy cards and the Common Law Embassy cards, are for organisations to use for the purpose of protecting the people. Basically, international covenants protect us in our diplomatic mission, and an embassy is also a protectorate, and the native people, Indigenous people, have the right to be protected by us, and they have chosen to do that by purchasing a card from us.
The flag on this card is a postal vessel. That is so that our diplomats can be securely posted from one post to another post, from one mission post to another mission post. The flag on this card is a court venue. The flag on this card is a court venue. Therefore, if any disputes occur, for example, on the side of the road, then the diplomatic dispute can be remedied on the spot. You can use the flag on the card as a court venue, and you will no longer have to clog up the court system. This also encourages diplomatic remedy and peace. Our Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy diplomatic mission was designed to bring peace in the Pacific, and on a larger scale, we hope to achieve world peace. And have you ever wondered why everything starts here? Like, even all the trading starts here. Like, the trading doesn't start in New York, and the trading doesn't start in Switzerland, it starts here. And that's because all things must start from here. Because I think it's got something to do with us being in the God zone. So that's why many of the prophecies are also that world peace will come from here. Yeah. So imagine if that was this diplomatic mission, and it's only going to grow because we've made it easy for everybody to participate, and we're trying to break everything down so that people can really see what we're trying to achieve. So we thank you for supporting us as well. Okay, so the diplomats participating in our Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy and Common Law Embassy diplomatic mission are entitled to diplomatic privileges and immunities for international organisations, because we're a nation called Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa, different nation. different jurisdiction. Okay, in an actual recognised nation with a recognised jurisdiction, and we're the larger nation. Okay, so Wakamingi o Ngā Hapu is the Native Autonomous Authority. We don't have to dispute that. That's a fact. And it's a fact that Wakamingi o Ngā Hapu Native Autonomous Authority are the receiving state members. Okay, and so the receiving state chooses who is eligible for diplomatic immunity, not the other way around. The New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister, Nanaia Mahuta, represents the sending state. She represents the New Zealand government. And it's not really up to Nanaia Mahuta who receives diplomatic privileges and immunities. It's up to us, the receiving state. Okie dokie. What else is there? Oh, the New Zealand government is bound by the Te Tiriti o Waitangi 1840, and they must uphold the terms and conditions within the Indigenous version of the Treaty of Waitangi. And within the Indigenous version, in the Te Tiriti o Waitangi, it states that the Wakamingi o Ngā Hapu is the recognised receiving state by royal decree, international treaty, and the United Nations Safety and Security Services, and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy. Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy holds the Wakamingi o Ngā Hapu National Registry, and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy reserves all the rights to issue and revoke our diplomatic immunity CPAS identity cards in accordance with international law and Indigenous law, mainly in accordance with the Kaupapa Suppression Action 2020 law that was activated, moved and lodged with Crown Law. Okay, Ambassador for Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy Monica Eastick created the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy as a protectorate for the people of the Pacific. And Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy was also mandated with the blessing of Wakamingi o Ngā Hapu officials and members and many other native peoples.
Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa diplomatic immunity card creators Peter James Martin, who made 1.1, the first version of the cards, over 10 years ago, and 2.1 and 3.1 in February 2020. Monica Eastick co-designed version 3.1, 4.1 and 5.1 of the cards, and also has the design rights of these cards. Version 1.1 is available to view on the Common Law Embassy website, www.commonlaw-embassy.com. Card designs rights are reserved by the creators of the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Diplomatic Immunity CPAS and the Common Law Embassy Diplomatic CPAS. Wakaminenga ki nai ki rangi koe anaki is part of the Wakaminenga o Ngā Hapu. The Wakaminenga is a gathering of the tino rangatira of the hapus, and they come together. This is Sky's personal hapu, and it's like an address. It's a family tribe and also ties the people to the land. The name is called a capture, and it's the same name that you find on the birth certificates. We place the colons and dashes into the name so that it becomes a distinct name that is unique to the card bearer, like a name that is a picture or a glyph. Alright, this helps protect the people and identify them from other people who may have similar name or similar look. The photograph is taken by Peter Martin of the Common Law Embassy, or Monica Eastick of Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy, and we both produce cards and do the same procedures. This was taken in our offices, respectively Christchurch and the Waikato, and this is done when the card bearer comes to us for a card. Generally, other times people send their identifications and a photograph, and those two are matched by the ambassadors, and the details are put onto the card, and the records are kept of that information.
Thanks for supporting the largest diplomatic mission in modern history. Please phone Peter directly if you are still waiting on card orders that were purchased through Peter's sites. Peter's emails are becoming overloaded with interest, so make sure you call him on 021 0424 434 if you're experiencing your card order delays, and he'll make the card on the spot. Likewise with me, Monica, make sure you phone me directly if you're experiencing card purchase delays or if you have other card inquiries. I just have to point out that I'm booked up until January, so I can no longer take any more court cases. So I'm only doing card orders now and working on the international court case to have our CPass identity cards recognised as international passports. And we'll keep you updated with the progress of that. CPasses to be recognised as passports is a work in progress, so we'll do regular updates in video format on both the Common Law Embassy website, Māori Ranger Security Division website, and the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy website. Secured party. Our diplomatic community CPass identity card bearers are secured by international treaty and conventions and are protected by the United Nations Safety and Security Services since May 2004. In May 2004, Carla White from Waitangi took a copy of the He Whakaputanga, the Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and the 1834 trading flag over to New York, where the United Nations Safety and Security Services recognized these items and stamped a copy of the He Whakaputanga and the Te Tiriti o Waitangi for both Carla White and Colt Gregory. This action, I believe, was a turning point in our nation's history, and I think it's equally as important for everybody to participate in their personal freedoms, because I think it's pretty clear that we've identified a lot of the systemic harm happening to our people. But the international treaties and conventions are there to protect us. So I'll be doing a series of videos about that. Okay, Sky's CPass expires in 2026 on the 31st of December. So all of the CPasses expire on the 31st of September. Baby CPasses last for 5 years, and adults and children CPasses last for 10 years. And they all expire on the same day, which is the 31st of December every year. The serial number on Sky's CPass is her unique customer number. And the serial numbers are in numerological order on our Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy Database Registry or the Common Law Embassy Database Registry. They're all in order. We've also ensured that there's going to be no number overlap, so I take segments of numbers. So I've pre-booked the segments of numbers, and so has Peter, so that our numbers won't clash. The British monarch recognised the Wakamingia o Ngā Hapu as being the native autonomous authority, and you can see that when you refer to the 1835 He Whakaputanga. It's written in there. Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy holds the National Registry for the Wakamingia o Ngā Hapu o Nuitireni, and we make the identity cards for the various native and indigenous people and their hapu, which means family tribes, of the islands of Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa. Our prices are $50, and we are respectful and considerate to the native and indigenous peoples, and our very low prices reflect our consideration. Our CPass cards are $5. They work out to be $5 per year for adults and $2.50 per year for children. So that's really good value, which is another reason why we have so many orders. So we thank you for your purchases, and your card should be with you shortly if you have ordered. Because they are so cheap, I think that's why they're so popular. Barcodes. Okay, so the barcode has Sky's name in it. So you'll see the colons in front of the word Sky. And then we put another colon there, and then example, and then dash, and then colon, and then yeah. Well, that's so that I believe that's so that it breaks up the format so nobody can trade your name, because the trading names have to be done in like capital letters. So that's a way that you can make sure that nobody trades your name. So if you're giving your name in capital letters to people, they might be trading you. But we, secure party, everyone, we guarantee that we don't trade people's identities. So that's one of our guarantees. And also I think it's kind of cool because it looks like a picture or a glyph. So I quite like that style. But the barcode is an aviation requirement for the passports, and it provides extra identification security for both our diplomats and the government security officer officials. There has also been changes to the barcode. So when we type in the barcode information, we no longer put the entire name. We just put the initials and the unique serial number. And that's to make the barcode more effective. When you clog it up too much, it might not scan. So that's what we've done.
Monica Eastick created the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa embassy, and Peter Martin created the Common Law Embassy, and they worked together with the blessing of Te Wakaminenga. The embassy was begun in 2004 and started to identify the members of the Wakaminenga. After that, they started identifying members of people who lived in Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa. This is the day that Sky was born. Sky was born on the 22nd of September, and that date is recorded on the card. This is the day that the card bearer was born. The card bearer has that date on the card as part of the record of their existence. Kaitiaki is an Indigenous word for caretaker, and diplomat indicates that the card bearer is a participant in the Common Law Embassy and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy diplomatic mission, the largest diplomatic mission in modern history. Monica Eastick drew the mermaid and designed the logo in August 2020, and Peter Martin digitally enhanced, watermarked the blue wave effect with the mermaid logo as the background for their cards. The Common Law Embassy and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy both used this logo for the majority of the card production in modern time. The design rights of Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa diplomatic immunity cards belong to their creators, Peter James Martin and Monica Eastick. Version 5.1 back of the card, issued by Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy, Ambassador Monica Eastick. Version 5.1 back of the card, issued by Common Law Embassy, Ambassador Peter James Martin, copyright. Version 5.1 back of the cards feature the required international treaties and Australian and New Zealand legislation required for our diplomatic mission participants to display whilst travelling. International Proclamation of Independence, 1835, hei whakaputanga o te rangatiratanga o Nutorini. New Zealand legislation, Diplomatic Privileges and Immunity Act, 1968, Section 92A. New Zealand legislation, Bill of Rights Act, 1990, Section 10, 11 and 21. New Zealand legislation, Passports Act, 1992, Section 2. In accordance to Australian and New Zealand aviation standards, the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Diplomatic Immunity C-Pass Identity Card is issued in accordance with the Passports Act and complies with aviation standards.
In 2011, after Peter had exited the New Zealand government and he was recognised by the Internal Affairs Minister at the time, that he was head of state of his personal estate, which was the Peter James Martin International. And Peter activated a diplomatic commission in 2011, and that's when he first started making these diplomatic immunity cards. But this is kind of cool. It's kind of an extension of what needed to be done, and so that's why we work together. So Common Law Embassy was the reason why Peter started Common Law Embassy is because we could identify that it was inappropriate to use a lot of the common law things in the Indigenous embassy. So, and it was kind of not very appropriate to use the Indigenous stuff in the common law embassy. So we've separated the two, and they have a different beginning. Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa embassy comes from a different beginning, and common law embassy comes from a different beginning, but we work in partnership because not only do we share the design, production and sales rights of the Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Diplomatic Community CPAS identity cards, we've conducted a lot of projects together, and we will continue to conduct projects together, although we'll be in separate embassies, which is great. So yeah, we thank you for joining the largest diplomatic mission in modern history, and for your support, because we don't get any funding, and so this was all designed from our combined intellectual property and forethought. Yeah. We're going to be lodging a lot more videos now on Peter's embassy. I'm going to be promoting Peter's embassy a lot. So make sure you go check out his embassy, and all of the new videos for Common Law Embassy will be over on his website. Welcome to the Common Law Embassy Diplomatic Community CPAS Identity Cards Detailed Description, Function and Purpose booklet designed by Monica Eastick for Common Law Embassy, Peter James Martin and Peter James Martin International, and Te-Moana-Nui-A-Kiwa Embassy.